Have you ever had a dream that won't leave you alone? Not because it makes sense, not because everyone around you believes in it, but because no matter how many times you try to let it go, it keeps calling you back. I've had dreams like that as long as I can remember. Hi, I'm Danielle. Welcome to the Wild Light Way. This channel is where I share my journey of creating a slower, more intentional life through motherhood, nature, van life, and everything I'm learning along the way. Ever since I was about 12 years old, I just knew I was going to have a son. I didn't know how or when, I just knew. It sounds strange because there wasn't any evidence for it. But even during some of the darkest times of my life, when nothing around me reflected that future, I still couldn't shake the feeling that one day I'd become his mum. And when Lucas arrived, I honestly felt like my life began again. Not because everything suddenly became easy, but because something inside of me that had always felt incomplete finally made sense. Then another dream started becoming clearer. Not a van, but a feeling. For years I thought what I wanted was impossible. People around me thought it was unrealistic. To be honest, I thought the same. It felt like this fantasy life that only existed in my imagination. But when I looked closer, it was never really about the van. It was about the feeling of waking up slowly, opening the door and seeing trees instead of walls, a soft breeze, dogs running freely, children laughing, flowers, plants, nature, peace, presence. For me, it almost felt like what I'd imagined heaven would feel like. Not somewhere you go one day, but a way of living. I've tried so many times to let that dream go. I've told myself just be happy with a normal life, stop expecting too much, to be grateful for what I've got. And I'm grateful, but every single time I try to settle, something inside me quietly whispered, this isn't it. For years I thought something was wrong with me. Why couldn't I just be happy with what everyone else seemed happy with? Why was I always searching for something more? I blamed myself. I thought maybe I just wasn't normal. Of course I questioned it. What if I'm romanticizing it? What if I finally get there and it's not like I imagined? What if I spend years chasing something that never happens? I've asked myself all of those questions, but then I realized, what if the bigger risk is spending my whole life pretending I never wanted it? The interesting thing is, whenever I spend time living even a tiny piece of that life, walking in nature, traveling, slowing down, being completely present with Lucas, I feel it. That feeling I've always imagined, it exists. The problem isn't the imagery. The problem is that right now I only experience it in moments. And what I'm building towards is a life where those moments become my everyday life instead of just occasional ones. I think so many people have dreams they've buried, not because they stopped wanting them, but because somewhere along the way they decided they weren't possible. Maybe someone laughed, maybe someone told them to be realistic, maybe life got busy, responsibilities took over, maybe they started believing other people's limits instead of questioning them. Right now I'm in between. I'm not the woman I used to be, but I'm not fully living the life I'm building either. I'm still building it, I'm still learning and taking one step at a time. And one of the biggest things I'm learning is how to trust before I have proof. Because it's so easy to believe in something once it's already happened. Real trust begins before there's evidence. What keeps me going is the relationship I've built with myself, the trust I've built in God, and the awareness I've developed around my own beliefs. I know there are people already living the kind of life I dream about, so why couldn't I? I've also realized something else. Every difficult thing life has put in front of me, I found a way through. Not because it wasn't hard, but because I kept going. So now I trust that if challenges come in the future, I'll find my way through those too. If I fail, at least I know I tried. But I know I would regret something far more never trying at all. So if you're watching this and there's a dream that won't leave you alone, maybe instead of asking yourself, how do I stop wanting it, ask yourself, why won't it let go of me? Maybe spend some time asking yourself what's actually stopping you from taking one small step. How much of it is fact and how much of it is fear, other people's opinions, or old beliefs that no longer belong to you. Because sometimes the smallest step is enough to show you whether you're walking towards something that truly feels like home. Maybe dreams aren't just fantasies. Maybe they're invitations to become more of who we've always been. And maybe the life that's calling you isn't calling you because it's guaranteed. It's calling because it's worth exploring. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you, I'd genuinely love to hear your story in the comments. Have you ever had a dream that won't leave you alone? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and come along for the journey. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.